Hello, 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 and welcome once again to the Barbarian Breakdown. Sam, we're on to episode 7. We are recapping EGL Open Series Split 3, Week 5, and anything and everything that we're aware of and think that you should be aware of coming into the next week and going forward. Before we dive into roster changes and announcements and anything else that's happened, let's just look at the results from week 5. 10 teams participated, so it is a better than the week before when only 8 signed up, so maybe the game mode sort of change has done, but it's very early to tell, and 2 teams isn't like a huge increase or anything. The team that we've gotten to know as Exis, or New Exis, consisting of Pains, Crims and Little Bouncers and Craze, have now switched their name to Massive Crimsers. So remember that name, you're probably going to hear a lot of it in the coming weeks. They finished first yet again, still undefeated pretty much across the split. They're beating the old Bum Bum Tam Tam roster, now called Johnny Walker and Cork, with Dragons, Cougars, Slaps and Hydron. They won the grand final 3-1. Definitely feels like when you're watching those guys, it's not going to be the last time we see those two sort of going at each other in the final. But I mean, who knows? There's some interesting things again that we'll discuss after the result that may change things or may not. Our regulars, Phantom T, they made it to the semi-finals where they ran into the brick wall that is Johnny Walker and Cork and lost 3-1. In the other semi-final, we have a very interesting new form team, Tweak. They consisted of Zenji, Para, Banged and Saitama. They took out Breaker's team, Fossils and a Frenchman 2-0, which makes Tweak a very promising team. It's an interesting mix. Zenji, Para, Banged, all very good, very talented young players. Saitama, known through the community, notoriously known through the community, has been a very, very strong individual player, and I think you can drop him basically in any roster and he potentially improves it. So pairing up with those guys, Zenji and Para obviously having the chemistry and whatnot from 1A, which I don't believe is sort of exists or is going any further anymore. It could be a dangerous team in the future, but we'll have to see. I mean, this is Gears, it is the EU, it is Gears Esports, so roster mania, people moving, people leaving, egos snaking, not wanting to play the game. I mean, there's a billion and one reasons. But well, best of luck to the guys. I do hope they stick it out. I mean, finishing top 4 in the first week it's decent when you look at the teams that are there. The teams that went out in the quarterfinals were my own team, Dead Arse Bro, a pickup team really this week, containing myself, Murphy Yokai and Team Kalmoa. We went out quite swiftly against Johnny Walker and Cork. Les Pepis with the Bolax and his team went out against Phantom T, and the winners, Massive Crimsers, took out Mantis, Eugene, Hunter and Volleyball Note in the last quarterfinals, calling themselves Playing for Fun We Don't Even Try. Love that name, to be honest. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Despite claiming that they don't even try, they still beat Team Hegasoft first round. Jota, Ascends, Slash and Ulta Kyle. So that is impressive. With Ascends on Team Hegasoft, is that the end of Team Espinita? That we have seen them a few times in earlier weeks, but not this week. Hopefully we will see Fort and Zudatives in the Breeks in this Sunday's tournament, in some shape or form, whether they're all together on one roster or they're scattered between the others. Now we've caught up on the results, right? So let's talk about what's happened elsewhere since then, leading to this point. A recent announcement from EGL seems to have seen a slight surge in players turning up. I've seen a lot of action on the TL. Need one for Sunday, playing Sundays. No scrim action, very little to zero scrim action on Gears EU and Twitter. But there seems to be a little bit of buzz around. But we'll get to the announcement soon. Let's just talk about some of the changes that have happened and the impact that they potentially could have on the scene. So Zul and Slazin from 3 fossils and a Frenchman have gone looking for 2. Breaker's gone FA, so that team's completely in the wind. They're fucking gone. Like, do you know what I mean? See you never. They're gone then. And the 4th from that roster, obviously Sarkster, he's joined Phantom T, who was dropped by Nestiques, or Nestiques left Phantom T. Not sure of the full details. And I don't want to sort of get it the wrong way around, but either way, Nestiques out, Sarkster in. Right? You have to sort of wonder with this little chain of events, who got dropped first, what caused it. I mean, did Phantom T approach Sarkster and then that caused a chain reaction on that team? Or like what happened? Did Slazen say that he wanted to disappear with Zul? And did that cause another reaction there? Like, I would think, I probably would assume that Phantom T would have made the move, that maybe done it. But you've got to love it. It's a bit of roster mania mid-split among the sort of some of the top teams, and we'll have to, well, some of, we say like Phantom T as top 4 team every single week without fail. So yeah, when you look at it, Phantom T, they've been together many weeks now. They've been together a long time. Still haven't managed to sort of take that top spot. So they'll be hoping this change can do that and give them that new maybe surge that they need to do so. It must have been a tough decision who to drop though, because it's a very talented roster to sort of single out. But I can't necessarily say that I disagree with the choice when you put it down to brass tacks. When you look at it, you look at the EGLs, you look at the weeks, you look at the performances individually, and the team is. Then that's the decision. So I maybe not disagree with it, but I mean again, it's a time will tell. But I mean, there's big questions and big decisions to be made really coming into the final weeks of the split, starting with week 6. Who will end up where? Will Phantom T manage to take a number 1 spot this week? Can Johnny Walker and Cork take a number 1 spot? I mean, or will Massive Crimses complete an undefeated split? The latter seems to be becoming more and more likely. As we've previously mentioned as well on the organisation side of things, Excess, they've now disappeared from the scene. So since this split's begun, we've lost Excess, Zenex and Highly Rated. It's a shame to be seeing these orgs leaving the scene, but hopefully if the scene starts to grow up again, maybe we'll see the return, or maybe we'll see some new organisations enter the scene. Either way, it would be nice. So now we've got onto this sort of big thing, and normally on the breakdowns I don't do any rants or anything. I'm just giving you the information. So I'm going to try and keep it as best and to that point as I can. There was an announcement from EGL that the split finals prize pool has been doubled to $7,000. We don't know how this prize pool will break down just yet, but it's definitely got a few people excited. As I said, there's some buzz in the scene, so we'll have to see if this encourages growth in the final week of the split. See, my issue here with this prize pool increase, that I personally feel it's too little too late in terms of acknowledging the community, the teams in it, the hard work from the players, keeping an average of 30 teams across the entire split. Do you know what I mean? Like, this announcement should have come between split 2 and 3 as a reward and an incentive for the excellent turnout we all had across split 2. That just should have happened. But what we actually got is, if you remember rightly and you look back, is EGL announced that the prize pool had been increased by $1,000 for splits 3's finals, which it wasn't actually an increase. TC hadn't given them any more money. What they'd done is they'd taken the 10-week series, knocked that down to an 8, right? So there was $1,000 that they would have given away there, and then they just put it on the finals prize pool. So it's a little bit of a smoke and mirror trick to be like, oh look, we're this is happening, but it fucking wasn't. And I don't sort of get it from TC. It's like, now that the region is having lower turnouts, they want to give us more money. I mean, that essentially defeats the original purpose of why we had our Pro League and our scene sort of taken away. We weren't getting enough teams weekly, so they dropped us from the pro scene. They were going to drop us completely from the esports program, but in the end they were kind enough to throw us 1.78% approximately of what LATAM/NA get. we then build the scene up, teams emerge, player emerge, the scenes grow, and they don't increase the peanuts that we've been getting. And now because no one is turning up and like people have gone, yeah, well, we've had enough, and we're finally really putting our foots down on this stuff. Now they're going to give us more money. It seems really, really backwards. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And whoever's in charge of the esports program and making these decisions over at Coalition clearly can't tell their ass from their elbow. Like, I genuinely haven't seen this just level, magnitude of stupidity and bad management skills like ever. I mean, and trust me, I've seen all the comedies, slapsticks, TV shows, and I've met some pretty fucking idiotic people. But this cunt really takes the biscuit, right? So whoever's making these decisions over at TC, calling these shots, a tip of the fucking hat to you, right? Because you genuinely are the most stupid person on the entire fucking planet. And the best part is, you probably don't even fucking realise how stupid you are. Anyway, to the point. We have week 6 of the EGL Open Series Split 3 coming up. I've given you the results, I've given you the roster changes, some information, and kept you up to date with the announcements. As always, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back next week, and do keep it classy.